3. So after you've clicked on the link in the assignment, it brings you to a window that looks like this, where you need to click onto Google+. That's going to ask you to log in. Now, as I'm logged in as ACS Learner into the Google Chrome web browser, it's taking me straight through. ACS Learner is being used within several classes. You're just focused on you'll only have 9D. In there you have your Hangman game, and here's the work we did today. I'm going to delete that and run you through it. So we're setting up and creating the game of Hangman, which will use a list to choose from random words. First thing we need to do is import the word random. That's going to allow us to have a random selection based on integers, so whole numbers. Next, I'm going to print, so I know what program I'm running, a simple welcome to Mr. Jones Hangman. You can obviously change Mr. Jones to be your initials, your name, however you want to call it. And then from there, I'm going to create a section of hidden words. It's going to be a list, which means we're going to have an equals, open bracket, and then inside these, speech marks, are our different words. The words I used in the live lesson this morning were hello, goodbye, and simply Aberdare. Now, if I was to go print, and I was to go hidden word at position, so I'm going to put it in a square bracket to tell it to choose position 0, that would be the first, even though it's 1, 2, 3, when you're working in IT, when you're working with computers, you start at 0, 1, and 2. So when I run this, it will say, welcome to Mr. Jones Hangman, and it's chosen randomly, it's chosen the number hello, because I told it the 0 letter. What we're going to do instead is in here, we're going to have a random.rand int, so a random whole number, starting off at 0 and going to 2. So it's going to choose either 0, 1, or 2. And when I run this, it's chosen 2 on this occasion and brought back the word Aberdare. If I run it again, it's chosen 1, so the word goodbye, and 0, the word hello. As random as it's supposed to be, that wasn't really that random. But never mind. It works, the principle is there. That's the chosen word for our game. So that's what I'm going to call it, is chosen word, and it's going to be equal to that code that we've just put in place. It doesn't need the print, it's going to store that chosen word for us. From there then, I also need to put in a blank word that we're going to use in a second. When you play Hangman, you'll know that it has lines to indicate the letters you should be guessing. Our word is what's going to be used, our blank word is what's going to be used to create that lined element. So I'm going to put in a for loop. It's going to be for letter in chosen word. Do word equals whatever's currently in word plus, I'm going to put in a space, underscore, and a space. And then after that, I'm simply going to print out word. So I've pressed insert key, let me get that off there. So I'm going to print word, and what you'll see is, just like within Hangman, you get this lined elements. There's the first element, the first starting point from our game, and we're now going to move on to the next step. So, next step then, we need our functions. We're going to have a function for guessing a letter. We're going to have a function for guessing the word. And we have a function for our menu. All three of these are going to need to be called at some point, so I'm going to call menu to start with here. We need to pass through chosen word on all of them, so that it knows what word it is working with. So as you can see, I've got menu, chosen word, guess word, chosen word, letter, chosen word. And in here, I'm just simply going to print, and this is guess letter. I'm going to print, this is guess word, and this is my menu. Rather than print it, I'm going to start this function. It's going to be option equals input, because we want to get an answer from our user. Our input is going to be what do you want to do? And then I'm going to do \n, which means go down to the next line. Option 1 is guess a letter, \n to go down to the next line. Option 2 is guess, capital G, the word, and that's it. I do \n, so our entry, whatever we choose, goes down to the next line as well. From there, I'm going to say if option is the same as, in speech marks, 1, do something. If it's the same as, so I'm going to do elif option is the same as 2, do something, else. Do something. The else is a simple one, so I'm going to start with that one. It's going to say, sorry, I didn't understand that. I'm going to do \n and then just call menu with chosen word in place. So if they put in an option that I don't understand, the system doesn't like, it repeats the menu and starts again. To show you this working, if I run this then, and it doesn't like the fact that I've left these blank. I need to put something in place even though I'm not using them yet. So if I put in the hello, it says sorry I didn't understand that and tries to repeat itself. If I put in 1, it will end the program at the moment because I haven't told it to do anything different. So there's my menu, and my menu is set up and finished. I don't have to touch that anymore. I'm done with it. I'm now going to go on to guess word. I'm going to guess word first because it's easier of the two options. So I'm going to say player guess equals input. And it's going to say, what do you think the word is? \n. Always \n, always going back to a new line. I'm going to say if, and this is our check, so guess word, dot lower. Now lower is really important because without it, it doesn't know, it won't understand the difference between capitals and lowercase letters. So by using lower, it ensures that they're all kept in lowercase. As you can see, on guess word and on chosen word, I've used the lower function. I'm going to put that there. If they do equal, I'm going to print congratulations, you are correct. If they aren't, so I can just use a simple else here now. I'm just going to put in place print sorry, that's not correct. And I'm going to go menu chosen word. So if you get it right, it says congratulations, you got it right. If you get it wrong, it tells you you're wrong and then repeats the menu system to go back to the chosen word. Now for the slightly more complicated part. This is our guessing a letter function. We're going to keep the same principle, so we're going to do player guess equals input. And that is going to say, please enter a letter to guess if it's in the word. And \n to go down to the new line. Now this time, just like we did here, we are going to use an if function, but we're also going to use the same principle from this function up here. So I'm just going to copy the whole of this a second and paste it there, making sure my tabbing is correct. And I just need to, in the center here, change this up. So I've still got my blank word, like I created here. I'm still going to loop through my chosen word, storing each letter individually in the letter. And I'm going to check here if letter dot lower, again, making sure everything's lowercase, it makes it easier to compare. Compared to player guess dot lower. Then I'm going to say one thing, and I'm going to say else this. So in this section, I'm going to use word like I did previously, equals word, this time, plus, I'm going to put in my space, plus letter, plus, and then my space again. I know it looks strange, but it's keeping in line with these underscores having spaces around them. And after it's printed out that word, it's going to rerun the menu function. Now this isn't perfect, trust me, I'll show you now. But it's our starting element. So here's my game of Hangman. I want to guess a letter. I know... Oh, it didn't like my guess a letter function. That's why. I didn't tell it to actually do anything with it. I just told it to print nothingness. Here, I want to guess a letter. I want to pass it chosen word. And here, I want to guess the word and pass to it chosen word. Now if I run that, guess my letter, enter a letter, I'm going to say A, pretty sure. No, I'm going to say E. All of my words have the letter E in place. When I press enter, it now tells me that there's an E third and an E last. Now I know, because I know the words, that if I guess the word and I put in Aberdare, it'll tell me, it should tell me I'm right, but it didn't like it there for some reason. I've done something wrong. Function, lower, chosen word, and sorry, my bad. I put guess word, it should be player guess. That's where I'd gone wrong there. Now if I rerun it, it should work fine. As you can see, don't always, even teachers make mistakes. Happily, it's back with Aberdare, and there it is. So my simple function, or my program, for how to write Hangman is there in, I've got 43 lines. If I was to get rid of some of my spaces that I don't need, I can reduce the line count, which isn't really an important thing in simple programming like we're doing now, but in more advanced programs, let fewer lines means fewer things for the program to do, so it's a better, more efficient program. I've taken that down to 35 lines. Now all I have to do is click on submit, and that will submit it for my teacher to see. And if I go back to Teams, in Teams, and it's logged in, I would then go into my assignment, I'd find the assignment, and I'd click on turn in. I know that's not the relevant one, but it's just demonstrating to you how to turn that assignment in.